Hello, welcome to my channel, 100 Days with Kajo. Today is day 1 of our new series, Building Our Personal Constitution. Woo! Cut it. Okay. First things first, we're going to define what a personal constitution is. Now, you guys probably heard of a self-concept, probably heard of self-worth and self-love and blah, blah, blah. I like to believe that a personal constitution wraps all of that together into one. We want a place where we can go and look at practically our manual book of how we operate. So that, let's say something happens and you're like, you know what? I have this in my constitution of I know how I operate, I know how my emotions work, I know how XYZ, blah, 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 blah. You refer to it. Because oftentimes we think we know who we are, right? But then we're just keeping it all up here. We forget who we are all the time. We get lost in the sauce. We get lost in relationships. We get lost in work. We get lost in whatever. But having a place where you really sat down and said, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I can't go for. Is very beneficial. Very beneficial. Okay, so how did you get into it? I'm curious. I'm glad you asked. So for me, for a really long time, I was just going through a lot of emotional turmoil. And most of it, I had no idea where it was coming from, why I was going through it. My life felt amazing and it was good and things were going great, but I was just not happy. Like, accomplishments just did not feel important to me or big enough to celebrate. And I was just really sad and I didn't understand why. Right. And after a really long time of a lot of journaling and a lot of self-work and a lot of crying and a lot of looking in the mirror and saying, who the am I said, you know what? I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. So I started like looking at prompts. Like I use ChatGPT, sue me. Right. I started using ChatGPT and I'm like, okay, give me a 30-day self-worth, self-concept, confident, high self-esteem journal prompts, right? And I did that in September of 2024. I did it every day. I found a lot about myself, and like that 1 month was worth more than a year of whatever I was doing. So it led me to wanting to do more for myself, and I started to wonder, like, okay, like I wish I had a manual of how I operate, how I want my life to go. Also, I am type A. A little bit, so I was trying to make sure this wasn't a ploy of trying to control everything in my life and every aspect, because that is so very me. It's so very me. So I said, you know what, this personal constitution will just be a guide. It's not telling me how to control people. It's not telling me like how to control every situation. It's okay, there are things that are outside of my hands, right? But I can control how I react to it. I can control how I feel about it. I can control how I get through it, right? And I thought, you know what? Why not bring this to my channel? This is very beneficial. I started on it a little while ago, but honestly, as I'm recording, I'm also working on myself and working through it. Cute. Thank you. Now, why should you create one? I believe that we all should create one. As I said before, we need to understand who we are as people, and being able to go back to yourself and actually have something handwritten or typed out and say, okay, when I was at a very calm state, when I was at a very loving and confident and high self-esteem state of mind, this is what I wrote for myself. And when you're sad, when you're angry, when you're whatever, sometimes it's hard to channel into that, I don't want to say higher self, but the better version of yourself that you were, I don't know, a couple days ago. And having that personal constitution, it's like, okay, like if someone does me wrong, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to be in my head. Stop being in your head. I realize that thinking is ghetto. Like, I love to think, I love to learn. Don't get me wrong, but being in your head all the time is not good for you. And I think I was doing that a lot. Like, I was just, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. And I didn't like that. And I don't want you guys to have to deal with that either. And I feel like so many of us do that. Having that personal constitution is like, you're not in your head. Baby, look at the print. You know exactly what to do. Then move on. Move on with your life. Do what you want to do. Because what was that one quote? I feel like it was like from some cartoon movie. But it's like in troubled water or like moving water, you can't see yourself clearly, right? So when you're angry, when you're seeing red, you can't think clearly. Having that personal constitution is a way to fall back into yourself. and hug yourself and be like, it's okay, it's okay. Because it is okay, and you're amazing. We're amazing. And honestly, this is really for me, but I was like, I'm gonna bring you guys along because I desperately need this, and I've been procrastinating since November to get this done, and you guys will hold me accountable. So please, if I don't post consistently, go into the comments and be like, Kajo, what the heck are you doing? Get on it. And I will be on it. I promise. A little FYI, I am creating a personalized affirmation app, and if you haven't done so already, go to my description box, join our emailing listing if you're interested for when it comes out, and to answer my survey so I understand what your needs are. Thank you, I love you, and let's continue with the rest of the video. So what should we expect from the series? You are absolutely right. You guys deserve to know what you're gonna get out of it. So I created a 100-day series. If you didn't understand my channel, now you do. I have it all written down for you guys. So we have our introductory, which is today, and our second one will be creating our preamble, and I'll talk about what that is in our next video. Then we have our grounding articles. Now your grounding articles are about you, your core values, and your foundation, and we'll go more into that when we get to the grounding articles. We have routines, we have health and wellness, we have community, we have education, we have growth, we have spirituality and faith, we have family relationships, platonic relationships, romantic relationships, death, professional and career relationships, finance, luxury, amendments and accountability, and then we'll have our reflection. Now each of these are jam-packed with good stuff, right? So for each of our videos and for each of our sections, we will go more into what it is and what to expect. But this is an overview of what you guys have in store. I'm super excited. And it's kind of crazy because like as we're doing this, I'm also working on myself and doing this for myself for the first time. But I've been thinking about it and had it in my mind for a really, really long time. And I'm excited to get started with you guys. This will be good. This will be good. I feel like at the end of this, we will be significantly, I don't want to say better people, because like I think we're already good and there's nothing much we have to change. We will understand. Whoa, I hate when I said it. We will understand who we are, and that's all we really want. And then after you create it, get out of your head. This is so you're not in your mind thinking of every situation and blah 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 blah. Get out of your head and live. That's what I'm doing, and we're gonna live together. Yeah. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching my video, and I'm excited to get started with this series. I will see you guys next time. Bye. That was my part, but okay.